Hello everyone, welcome back to another Ultimate Survival tutorial made with Unity 3D, and in this video we're picking up where we left off in our last tutorial, and that was getting these lovely logs off the floor, carrying them, walking around and dropping them again. There's a pig making some noise. God, I hope they don't attack us. And it's a bit violent how we just threw those logs on the floor, wasn't it? Uh-oh, here he comes. And guys, let me quickly get my gun. See how there? Good timing, Mr. Pig, just showing off some moves. Oh, he's backing off. It's a bit unfortunate, I thought he was going to charge us. Well, bit of an anticlimax there because I don't really need any bacon. So let's pick up these logs again. Look, I'm carrying this gun, but let's pick up this log. Boom! Put the gun away and picked up a log. It's like that pig knew that we wanted to show off. Let's try pick up another log. We can't. See on the bottom left, it gives you the message. Unable to pick up log. What's this? Oh, it's a log holder. So I come up to it and it tells me F to put down. It shows an icon. Let's push F. Now it shows me V to pick up. Well, let's put that one down. Let's go put another two in our hands. Let's come over here. Let's push V to pick up and see what happens. Well, it tells me bottom left, unable to pick up log because I'm already carrying two. Okay, let's put these ones down. No, I changed my mind. Let's pick this one back up and chuck him over here. Let's pick this one back up. Oops, crouched. Okay, let's put him back. What do you think? A bit like the forest? A little bit like Life is Feudal? Well, I like it. I think it's fun. I'm going to show you guys. Oh, accident there. See? I'm going to show you guys how we did it. So let's pop inside the editor and I'll show you. Here we are inside our editor, and I've opened up the item pickup that we played about with in the last tutorial and the hotbar, and I've also created two new files called carry generic and carry holder, and I moved a lot of the junk that I made in the last video over into carry generic so that the item pickup and the hotbar script aren't bloated with a load of custom code. I know what I did last time was very messy, even a little bit too messy for me. I also was a little bit naughty when it came through to my naming convention. You can see here I've got all these private variables and I forgot to stick an M underscore in front of them so that would be tidy and matched up with the way that Winterbyte works. And it's actually a nice way of doing it. You've got this M underscore up here, and these are used throughout all of the script, but anything that is inside a method and it's local, such as this one var inventory or this int carry amount, they don't have an M in front of them, so you can identify which ones are local and which ones are global. So it's, you know, it's nice. It's nice, a nice way of doing it. And I was naughty. I didn't do it like that. Okay, I know I got a couple of emails from people telling me off, saying that this was again a little bit too messy. And while I was doing that, I decided to remove a load of these variables and functions and move them into the carry generic. So let's see what's left. Here we go, highlighted up. You can see what we changed. So we've got an integer here. Our previous, which we called pickup, is now M underscore pickup. And we've got here item data. See, we've got all these M's nicely in front of everything. I've also added this new serialized field, this game object for our game controller. And that's where I'm sticking the generic script, this carry generic script. That is going to have a lot of our methods that we're moving over to. And here we go. So right at the start, if you don't set something in this serialized field manually, then over here it would say, look, you didn't have anything in that game controller variable, so I'm going to go and find the object with a tag game controller and I'll shove it in there. Which means that in real time you can actually get the game controller set, but sometimes that find is a little bit tricky. So if you can, manually declare it. If you can't, then don't worry, it'll find it for you. Hopefully it'll work. Hopefully it won't explode. And you can see that I've had to put this M underscore now because previously if we didn't have the M underscore at the top, well, everywhere that you've changed it, make sure that you update those as well, otherwise you'll get a load of errors saying that you can't find these variables. And down here you'll notice that it's Oh, let me just scroll down. You can see it's a lot smaller than it was in the last video. So let's quickly just talk through how it works. So we've got our M picked up, and it gets the amount for how many we currently have picked up from the player event handler. We get the property can carry, the integer, how many we currently have in the item up in the editor. So that's going to be, in our case of our logs, 2, because you can only carry 2 of these big logs at a time. The max stack, again, we're going to grab that from the item data. That's up in the property as well. Max stack is how many we can have at most in a stack, and in case of our logs, it's 1. And then we've got this carry amount. So we're saying if the maximum we could carry, for example, was 2, and I'm already carrying 1, then I would only be able to carry 1 more. If I'm carrying nothing, then I can carry 2. Easy, innit? Now we've got this M underscore added as our ball here, and in there we've got this game controller rather, which is where we're going to stick our carry generic, and here's carry generic, and inside carry generic is this method for try carry item, and it will return a yes no that we can shove in this added here. All very easy so far, isn't it? Now if it doesn't have the can carry property, then we've got this else, and which means that it just acts like it used to act before we started editing it. And that's great because you can use one item pickup script for everything. You can use an item pickup script for things that you want to carry, and an item pickup script for things you just want to stick in the inventory. One shoe fits everyone. Is that the phrase? Well, I'm going to use that. It's a new phrase for me. Okay, so if our ball is true, which means that we were able to add something, then the same as before, we've got the noise, we've got the message, and we destroy the object. Otherwise, we can't pick it up, so we say, well, you can pick it up. There you go. And down the bottom, again, we've got in our awake, we're checking the item database to get the item to add. Now if we pop over to the hotbar, you can see that it's, again, a lot cleaner than it was before, because all we need now is 1, 2, 3 little variables. Again, we've got the game controller like we had in the item pickup. We've got M underscore slot and M underscore active carry. And over here in the start, again, we had the, if you didn't set something in the serialized field, then I'm going to find that object with the tag game controller. And down here, we keep going down and down and down. Again, we've still got in the try select slot, calling our custom method of try throw down, which meant that if you had, for example, the arms selected, which is slot 0, and then you try select slot 5, which could be a different weapon, then it will say, hey, try throw down, pass me over what the slot is, and false to say I didn't actually push the G button. I just was changing my slot, that's what that means. And then it will try and use our method. And here we go. Here's our custom code. Again, a lot cleaner than it was in the last video. So select carry, that's from the last video we had. And now we've got our drop items. If I push G again, throw down, and it's passing through the index for the slot number that we've got open. And this time it's true to say, yep, you pushed G. So I want key press to be true. And here is the try throw down. So there we go. Here is the item again that we're saying the slot number, and key press if it's true or false. Now a lot has changed since the last one. Don't worry, we didn't throw away that code. We just cut it and paste it into our new carry generic, and I'll show you that in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. We've got our active carry. If it is set here, active carry, did you find an object with a tag FP carry? Yes, you did. Okay, then check the carry generic object we've got over there, and use the method try use one. That's my new one. Try use one. See, try use one. We've got here 1, which is the amount that you can use at a time. And now we need to know how many times are we going to run and loop through. So we need to see how many items we have active. How many child items we have active. Unlike last time, we did a transform check and we were saying how many items were there, so even if they were hidden we were still counting it. This time I only want to count the active ones, and that's why we've got this child count active down here, and he's checking active self, basically saying, yeah, if he's active, then increment, give me a +1 on this K, and he'll return this K value here. So in the case of our logs, it might be 1 or it might be 2 if you're carrying 2. If it's stones, you might be doing stones, you might be doing sticks, in which case you could be carrying 20. Because this is going to be beautifully generic. And here we're passing over the player, and again we're passing over another ball. In our case is the ball to say that you dropped true or false. Okay, lovely? Yeah, lovely. Brilliant. Let's pop now into our carry generic script that I made. I'm going to make the carry generic and the carry holder scripts available to download because they're mine, but I can't make it available the hotbar and the item pickup script because they are winter bytes. So stop asking me. I'm not going to give you somebody else's scripts even if you tell me you've paid for it, because that's naughty. This is not open source. Okie dokie. So this script here, we've got a lot of the variables that we had in the previous script. We just moved them over. That is the get hotbar and the game object for the hotbar, our slot, our active carry, our arm string, our savable item, which is the FP arms, and I've hidden it in the inspector because it's public. Now it's annoying, you know, when you've got something public and then everyone can see it, they go, oh, what's that you're doing? I can see that's public. Hide it in the inspector and then they can't see it. It's a secret. Now we've got here our 2 new GUI thingies. Game objects I've put here, a GUI put down and a GUI pickup. I'll show you those in a second in the editor. Okay, now down here we've got void awake. And I'm in the spare room, and if there's a bit of an echo and if the video is a bit crap, it's because I'm on the spare PC. I've been relegated into the spare room. But the good news is I did get a new microphone, so I don't sound like I'm in the toilet. Or do I? Leave a comment underneath the video. Do I sound like I'm in the toilet? Note, I didn't say on the toilet, in the toilet room. What do you call it? Bathroom in your house? Okay, in the bathroom. We are pretty much having the same as we had in the last file, and here's the new stuff. This is the new stuff here. Our new game objects we're grabbing, which is our icons. Got here GUI put down and GUI pick up. They are inside the HUD, which is to HUD, and it's a deep child going deep, 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 and we're calling it drop UI, and this one was called pickup UI. Now if you're going to call it whatever you want to call it, change that. You could make these serialized and stick them up here and then just drag them in, which probably be a better way of doing it, because again, as I say, find isn't always the best way of doing stuff. I'm not sure why I didn't do that. Should we do that? Let's do it. Where's that serialized? I don't like typing, so let's just scroll up here and get it. Serialized field, copy, and stick that there, and stick that there, and let's click save. There you go. See? Okay. Just in case you wanted to do it, you can serialize these 2 variables and get them from the Unity editor. Back down here in our start, we're grabbing the hotbar, which is this guy over here. So we're looking for the item that had the tag hotbar, and we're grabbing the item container that was held in that hotbar. That was like last time, wasn't it? Now we've got our m_slot. We're getting the first slot, which is 0, from our hotbar. So all of that pretty much was to get this. And now we've got our methods try use 1. And here we've got the use amount. So you can say each time you're going to use 1, how many are you going to use? In our case, sorry, it's really going to be 1. This is the loop count to say how many times should you go through and use something. So in the case of dropping down all of the logs at the same time, that was 2 maximum. And in the case of just wanting to put one thing into a log holder, it would be 1. This is our player event handler player, and this is our board if we've dropped something true or false. And by default, we're sticking in a false just to be safe. Okay, we've got our active carry like we had before, looking for the FP carry tag. We've got our see here it doesn't have the M underscore because it's local. So here we've got picked up variable, and we're getting from the player event handler the picked up, and we've got our savable item, the item that we dropped, and that's the item that we've got currently in our first slot. So if we do have something in that slot and it's not the arms, then we're going to do stuff. And if we picked up more than nothing, so we do actually have something in our arms, and then we can do stuff. Then we're just going to loop through how many items we've got that we set up here in this loop count. So I've got here each child object plus picked up. That's different than we had last time. Before it was just object. Now I actually named each item, each child item, a unique name. So it's object 1, object 2, object 3, object 4, and that way we can specifically target which objects we want to hide and show, rather than just randomly hoping that we're going to show and hide the right ones. And every time you use one of these, so every time it goes through this loop, we're going to reduce the number of picked up items by the amount that we use each time. In our case that's 1, but it could be 5 or whatever. And then we set active to false, so we hide that child that we're talking about, which happens to be object 1 or object 2 or object 3 and so on. And then down here we need to make sure we update that value for the picked up inside the player event handler. So always use your set and force update. So forces it, force it. And now we've got here, put the arms back in slot 0. After all of that, if you've got nothing left in your arms, then you want to make sure you show your arms again, or whatever you have in your game. So we said here, if our picked up equals 0, and if the drop true is false. Now this is a way we can work out if you dropped it or used it, because you just got one method that we're going to use for both dropping something and using something. If you dropped something, you need to actually drop it here. See? If you used it, you need to remove it, and that's the difference. And how many things do you drop? Well, you need to loop once again through the loop count, and then we do try and add our arms again. And remember that if you're not carrying anything else, then you can't put anything down, so hide that GUI item that we made, this GUI put down. Set active is false. This try use one that we've just gone through, is a generic bit of code that we can use all over the place. Yeah, ideally you'd put that in the proper ultimate survival way of doing stuff, but this way you can put it in any game that you're playing about with. So now the try carry item is the same code that we had in the previous tutorial. We've just moved it into this carry generic script. I'll pause. Well, you're going to have access to this file, so there's no point in me really going through it all. You can watch the last video to see what everything does and just read through the comments. So yeah, the difference is in here, unlike the last time where we were looping through all of them, now we're again looking for objects plus picked up, because everyone has a unique name, and that's the one we care about, really, isn't it? Okay, now our new script we've got here, another one is called carry holder, and that's what we're putting on our log holder or rock holder or stick holder, whatever you want to put it on. So let's quickly just talk through it. This is the ultimate survival GUI system making use of, and called this one carry holder. We've got here our public savable item for the FB arms and our private string for the arms, again hiding it in the inspector, and we've got our GUI objects that we had in the previous script, and we've got our player event handler, the max items and the current items that we had in the previous script. Clicked once, added this in here, it's a ball, because for some reason the collider was, when I was clicking on the log holder, it was calling it a couple of times. I've seen that bug before. It's an issue, I can't remember, something with the collider, and I really wasn't doing something correct, and this is a dirty way of stopping it from happening. So every time you click it, you just mark this ball as true and say you clicked it, and then you won't run it again. I've put the variables for the items together so we can see them. This is our item to add several item. It's item data, and that ball to say if you can carry is true or false, like in the previous tutorial. And here we've got the string for the default item that we had in the item pickup. So we've got the same kind of thing. So we're saying logs is going to be the default item for our log holder. And like in the item pickup script, we've got the int for how many of those are you going to pick up at a time. And for us, the default is 1. We've got our m_added ball. I'm going to hide that. And we've got our string for FPS item. And again, the game controller, game object, so we can call our carry generic script. And this is serialized, but if you didn't stick something in there, then it's going to find that object with the tag game controller for you anyway. Much like the last file over here, we've got our GUI put down and GUI pick up. And we've got our void awake. Again, we're looking for the database. We're looking for the item to add from the default item. In our case, it's logs. And we've got here our arms, like we had in the other tutorial. And we're looking for the thing that we had in the string, which we called arms. And like we had before, we're looking through each object in the parent that's called objects. And we put all of the object 1, object 2, object 3 inside the parent that's called objects. And that's where it's going to find all the kids. And we're going to just loop through and add this items max to 1 each time. And this is all the hidden ones. These are not the active ones, because we want to know what's the most we can add, and the most you can add are the hidden children. So if you only want to have 5 logs available in a log holder, only make 5 hidden children. If you want to make 20 logs or rocks available in the container, then have 20 hidden children, and it will say that's the maximum. Clever, isn't it? See, I told you, it's generic. It's generic, so you can use it for anything. I love you, that's why I'm doing this. So here we go. We've got our void update, and that's the thing I told you before. Every time you click, we set it to true, and when you're off doing stuff, it goes back to being false. It makes a little bit of a lag, but you guys know a better way of doing that than me, and to stop it from happening. Should really be using raycasts and all that shenanigans, but as I say, this was messy. Quick way of doing it. Took too long to do this tutorial, so I just wanted to get something out there so you guys can play with it. Here we go, our player, so we can get our player event handler, getting the item, not how many things we've picked up. Now we're going to set our GUI to true, if you can put something down, and then we're checking for the key press F, and if you push to key press F, then run this try put down and say that you clicked it. If you pushed V, try to pick up and say that you clicked it. And don't forget, we've got here that you're checking that the game object has the tag player, so that it's the player standing inside the collider and not a koala or something. And on exit, when you exit the trigger, make sure it's the player that exits the trigger, then hide these GUIs. So the try put down, very short bit of script here, very short bit of script, because it's making use of the carry generic. All it's saying is that make sure that key press is false, so you haven't already clicked the key. Add another number to your items current, so you're saying, you know, now you've added another thing to the log holder, so that was 1 before, now it's 2, if it was 0 before, now it's 1. Show it, see object, items current, and then show it, so it's set active is true. Drop the log, so we're going to use the log this time. We're not going to drop it, so it really should be function to use the log. If we wanted to drop it, then I would put a true at the end, but I'm not, so we're just using it, and then it will just remove it. And click once it's true. Try to pick up, again like we had in the previous script, in the item pickups. Again, checking to make sure you haven't already pushed the key. Has the property can carry, and if it does and it's true, then we do our magic. It's exactly the same as the item pickup script. I just shoved it over here, and again we've got this ball for m_added, and it's looking for this try carry item, and if you do carry it, then it will make this true, but if it didn't work, it's false. Exactly the same as the item pickup script. And over here if you did, this is where it's a little bit different to the item pickup script. If m underscore added is true, and we get here our push message here to say that you picked it up, and now we've got our transform to find the item that we want to pick up. So we set that one to false. So if it was the first log, it'll be object 1. So you make sure that you hide that. Now you need to reduce the number of items that the log holder has by 1, so minus minus. And if you've got no items left inside that container, so items coming to 0, then hide that GUI pickup. Like we did in the previous bit of script where we said if you have nothing left in your hands, then hide the icon to drop. Now if there's nothing left to pick up, hide the icon to pick up. But if you can't do any of that, then you say here, nope, unable to pick up. And then set your clicked once to true to say you clicked. That's all of our code. Let's save that. Let's pop back into Unity and I'll show you how I added those GUIs, and I'll make those icons available to you to download. Here we are inside Unity, and I'm checking out the log holder, and I've called him log underscore holder underscore full. It's got a game object there, and it has all these objects now. We have object 1, object 2, object 3. They've all got unique names and they're all hidden. So if we go down here and I unhide these ones, now they're active, you can see them. There you go. Let's put them on active again. And down here in the HUD, I've created the drop underscore UI and the pickup underscore UI. And to do that, I just duplicated this grab. I just right clicked it and click duplicate. Here it is. And then here, let's go to 2D mode so you can see it. Let's show it. Here we go. I added my icon and I changed the text. See here, text, F to put down. And this one, pick up, did the same thing. I just changed the icon to be that one, and I changed the text to say V to pick up. There you go, V to pick up. Place them either side of each other so they looked a bit nice. Don't forget to unhide these before your game starts. You can put a bit of script to say that when you're loading up the game, hide them automatically, but again, I did an extra bit of error handling that you probably could put in and it'll be nice. Let me just show you the logs. Here are our logs. Oh, let's get out of 2D mode. Here's our logs. You see the logs here, item pickup script. We've got the default item log like you would normally, the amount 1 like normally, and here the FPS item. This is the string here that we would look for our 15 logs. Can you see where my mouse is squiggling? 15 logs. So 15 log. The game object is this fellow up here, and you could drag him in, but if you didn't, it would automatically find the item that it would automatically find the game object that has the tag game controller. Alright, talking about game controllers, just before we go in there, let's check out the log holder full script. And you got here default items log, default amount 1, just like we have with the normal item pickup, FPS item, again it's the 15 log, and here's that game controller again for that game object. Pop over here to that game controller that we spoke so much about, and here's our carry generic script and the GUI put down and the GUI pickup, serialized fields that we edited in our code, and let's put that down and that pickup there. There you go, that's nice, isn't it? Once again, let's just click play, see if we broke anything when we played about in the editor. Please be warned, I am on my spare PC, so the quality of this bit of the video is going to be bad. I will go downstairs and try on. Here you go, I can't pick that one up. Good. Error message. Let's go over here. F to put down. F to put down. V to pick up. F to put down. Okay, guys. Well, that was fun. There was a lot of talking. I hope I didn't go too fast. Hope you enjoy my new microphone. I'm enjoying it. It's a bit weird. I'll start playing about with the editor to see what funky things this microphone can do. And if you do like it, remember, click it. Until next time. If you want to see more on the Ultimate Survival series, click on the links on the left side of your screen. And if you like these videos and you want to see more of them, please click subscribe. It's in that big button that's down below. And there's next to it, there's a little magic bell. And when you click that bell, it tells you when there's a new video out. So cheers, thanks for all the support.